Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another special Halloween Closer Look. Tonight, we enter another dimension, not one only of sight and sound, but of mind. Look! There's the signpost up ahead. Today, on a closer look, the Twilight Zone. Welcome back. So the Twilight Zone debuted in 1959. It was the brainchild of Rod Serling, who was quite a prolific writer for television and radio at the time, and he himself hosted every single segment of the original series. So essentially it was conceived as an anthology series, an anthology sci-fi horror series, which would kind of deal with strange things, but the mandate was the quality of the writing had to be really high. You didn't want this to be some cheesy sci-fi show. No. This needed to be quality television, and boy, does it ever deliver. I mean, you can go back and watch any of those old episodes of the original series, and they still hold up today. They're just so well written and so well acted, starring numerous stars, both established and up and coming from the era, and it's just an absolute treat to sit down and binge, essentially, just one after the other. Now, the Twilight Zone has come back several times over the years. There was, of course, the movie in 1983, and then there was a new TV series in 1985. Now, the original series ran from 1959 to 1964 for a total of 5 seasons, or 156 episodes. The 1985 series ran for 3 seasons. There was a season in 1985-86, a second season in 86-87, and then for some reason it took a year off, and then it came back in 88-89 for the final batch of episodes, having a grand total of 65 hour-long episodes. Now, with the revival series in the 80s, it was kind of interesting because rather than doing just solid 1-hour stories, initially each episode would be divided up into 2 or 3 stories. You'd actually get a bunch of stories every week. Eventually it did settle into a 1 episode is 1 hour-long story format, but just kind of interesting that they did that. So even though they have 65 episodes, they probably got about the same number of individual stories as the original series did. The series then came back again in 2003, hosted by Forrest Whitaker. And that one only lasted 1 season, but it was a long season of, I think it was 43 episodes. I used to have the DVD set of that, but sadly I don't anymore. I foolishly sold it, and then it went out of print, and hasn't gone back into print ever since. So, come on, can we get a new set of that one, please? And then, of course, there's the current series, which I think has been canceled. Anyway, ran for 2 seasons and was produced and hosted by Jordan Peele. I've not seen that one yet. I've heard it's quite good. Anyway, I don't have everything Twilight Zone. What I do have is the complete series of the original on Blu-ray and the complete series of the 80s revival on DVD. So, let's head on down to the black table and check out the 2 sets I have, the original and the first of the revival shows of the Twilight Zone. Okay, so here we have the complete original series of the Twilight Zone, beautifully remastered in high definition on Blu-ray. So this, of course, is the more recent sort of condensed packaging re-release. Paramount CBS put out a whole bunch of TV show sets in cases like this. The Star Trek ones like this and a bunch of other ones. This is all 156 episodes, all 5 seasons in their entirety. Fantastic. So many hours of entertainment here. So if we crack it open, you can see we have all the contents listed on the inside of the insert, and the discs themselves. There we go. See, I'll give you a slightly better look at that in a minute here. So the discs themselves are in this sort of flipper tray thing that comes out. And there you go. And it does list all the episodes on each disc as well, so you know exactly which episodes are where. I'm not going to bother spinning them all around. You get the general idea here. And there we go. So these seasons were, of course, originally available individually, and then were available as a complete series set. And then this is the re-release. So if we just slide this out here, you can see quite a lot of stuff on here. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you what the special features are. It just says special features, which is kind of lame. However, I know where to find a disc-by-disc breakdown. I mean, I could just pop each individual disc in and look at that, but that would just be kind of silly. That would take forever. And why do that when we have this thing called the internet, and I can just find the information for you? So, why don't you just take a gander at this, and I'll go over all the extras for you. Okay, well, I can see now why they didn't list all the extras on the inside, because they would have had to print it with printing the size of that which would fit on the head of a pin. There is just a ridiculous amount of extras on this. Some of my longtime viewers might remember I had the DVD set a while back of Season 1. It was Twilight Zone, the Definitive Collection. I did a video about it. And I was going over the extras on that. Well, that's been like the standard extras package for the Twilight Zone sets pretty much ever since. And everything that was on there has been ported over to the Blu-ray set. So I'm not going to go over quite everything, but I'll give you kind of the general gist of just how many extras there are. So, okay. Season 1, Disc 1, we got the original pilot episode with Rod Serling's original pitch. So that's the original unaired version of the pilot episode, Where Is Everybody?, which is pretty cool. You got alternate opening narration by Rod Serling, alternate closing narration by Rod Serling, audio commentary with producer William Self, Rod Serling discussing Where Is Everybody at Sherwood Oaks College in 1975, another audio commentary by actor Earl Holliman, and some sponsor billboards. Now, the sponsor billboards is an extra you'll see on most episodes. It's basically just kind of like, a mini commercial for one of the sponsors of the show. So you'll see that. And it's interesting to see, just all the various products and such that were sponsoring the show at the time, a lot of which are no longer around. Episode 2, we just got a sponsor billboard. Mr. Denton on Doomsday, we have an audio commentary by actor Martin Landau, no less. Very cool. And more sponsor billboards. Episode 5, Walking Distance. We got Rod Serling discussing the episode at Sherwood Oaks College in 1975. An alternate audio mix presented in 2.0 linear PCM, uncompressed. I'm not sure what the difference is with that audio mix, but kind of interesting. And you've also got an isolated music score by Bernard Herrmann. Yes, the legendary Bernard Herrmann did the music for that episode. You've also got an isolated music score for Episode 6, Escape Clause. And then more sponsor billboards. And on Disc 2, yes, we're only on Disc 2, Episode 8, Time Enough at Last. Mark Scott Zicree interview with Burgess Meredith from 1978. I remember listening to that on the DVD set. It's a very nice interview, and it basically plays as an audio commentary, essentially. Mark Scott Zicree actually wrote the Twilight Zone Companion, which was a wonderful book, which actually accompanied that old DVD set. You can get it separately, and I think there's since been some revised editions since that one came out as well. But wonderful book and an absolute treasure trove of information about the show, which serves as a very nice companion piece to the show itself. And then episode 11, When the Sky Was Open, you got another audio commentary, this time provided by Rod Taylor. You got an interview, another Mark Scott Zicree interview, this time with Douglas Hayes from 1978, and it also plays like an audio commentary during the episode. And you got Rod Serling discussing And When the Sky Was Opened at Sherwood Oaks College in 1975, once again. You got an audio commentary on episode 21, Mirror Image, by Martin Milner. Episode 24, Long Live Walter Jameson. You got an audio commentary by Kevin McCarthy. Episode 25, People Are Alike All Over. You got an isolated music score. Episode 30 is Stop at Willoughby. You got a Mark Scott Zachary interview with Buck Houghton from 1978. Episode 31, The Chaser. You got Mark Scott Zachary interview with Douglas Hayes from 1978. Episode 34, The After Hours. You got a Mark Scott Zachary interview with Anne Francis and Douglas Hayes from 1978. And most of these interviews just play as a commentary track, by the way. So they're not sort of separate extras. You can just kind of play them along with the episode. In episode 36, A World of His Own, we have a Mark Scott Zachary interview with Richard Matheson, classic, legendary writer from 1978. And then finally, we have some Emmy clips, for about 3 minutes worth of Emmy clips, which is Rod Serling accepting his Emmy for The Twilight Zone. And that is it for season 1. Okay, I'm going to stop here because, quite frankly, there's just too much. There's too much to go through. Suffice it to say, this set is absolutely freaking loaded with extras. It will keep you busy for, months going through all of it. Alrighty, so I'm sure you'll agree, a pretty loaded pile of extras. Yeah, so even if you've watched every single episode on there, there's all those alternate versions and radio plays and stuff like that to dive into, plus all the interviews and commentaries, and there's just so much stuff on here, it's ridiculous. But yeah, gotta love it. Great, great stuff. And next up, of course, we have the Twilight Zone, the Complete 80s series. Yeah, this was the one I watched most as a kid because it was my era. I was, I guess, 13 when this came out. Perfect age to be watching this. But great stuff. Really creepy, surreal opening theme music by the Grateful Dead. It's pretty interesting. I think that was actually my introduction to the Grateful Dead, so I always assumed by the name and the theme song they did that they were like a gothic rock band of some kind, but yeah, I later discovered otherwise. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. This was a fantastic update of the Twilight Zone, and ended up being my gateway, if you will, to the Twilight Zone, and taking an interest in, checking out the original, which I hadn't really seen. I think I'd seen a little bit of it when I was a kid, and, I recall being scared senseless by a few episodes. In fact, I think I remember the one where it was the guy who could create people by narrating descriptions of them on an audio tape, and he'd made, the perfect woman and stuff like that, and I remember being really freaked out by that one. I won't say why, because that would kind of spoil the twist, but yeah, it freaked me out. Anyway, same thing as the other one. It basically has everything. This one actually does list all the extras on the insert, so I'll, that'll save me a little bit of time there. Kind of a, it's just like a sticker of a hub on there. Kind of weird. But, yeah, so anyway, once again, we just have this sort of disc tray thing that comes out and has all of the discs in it. So this, of course, was not as many episodes as the original. The original was 156, for the most part, hour-long episodes. This was 65 hour-long episodes, so not quite as lengthy. But we did get quite a lot of stories. As I mentioned in the intro, a lot of the early episodes were multiple stories. So a lot of these individual episodes are actually stories within longer episodes. So it looks like they just crammed a bajillion episodes on each disc, but really they didn't. Most of these are hour-long episodes that had multiple stories. So if we just take a quick peek at the lovely insert here, they basically were just ridiculously efficient with the packaging, saving space wherever they could. So they just crammed all the contents onto the insert, and then all the discs into that little removable tray. So very, very nice. So let me just put all this back together here. Yeah, some people don't like that you can remove the tray. They think it's kind of cheap, but I don't mind it. I mean, if anything, it just means you're not digging around in the main case all the time, right? It's just take it out, and it's pretty easy to flip through it and find the disc you're looking for. So I'm going to go over the extras, and why don't you just take a look at that wonderfully spooky cover while I do so. Okay, so extras for the 80s series, we actually have quite a lot of audio commentaries, so a lot of discussion about the making of the show. So on disc 1, for the episode Shatterday, we have audio commentary by Wes Craven, Alan Brennert, Philip Daguerre, and Bradford May. And we've got a second audio commentary by Harlan Ellison. The next episode, A Little Peace and Quiet, has audio commentary by Wes Craven once again, joined by Philip Daguerre and Bradford May. And Wordplay also has an audio commentary by Wes Craven and Philip Daguerre. The episode Chameleon has an audio commentary by Wes Craven, James Crocker, and Philip Daguerre. I actually had no idea that Wes Craven was involved so heavily with this series. That just fascinates me even more. And then later on the episode Nightcrawlers, we have audio commentary by Bradford May and Philip Daguerre. Then on disc 2, on the episode Examination Day, we have audio commentary by Philip Daguerre. A Message from Charity has audio commentary by Alan Brennert and Carrie Noonan. Paladin of the Lost Hour has audio commentary by Harlan Ellison. The Burning Man has audio commentary by J.D. Feigelson, James Crocker, and Alan Brennert. And finally, Dealer's Choice has audio commentary by Wes Craven and Philip Daguerre. Disc 3, we have Wong's Lost and Found Emporium has audio commentary by Alan Brennert and William Wu. One Life Furnished in Early Poverty has audio commentary by Harlan Ellison. Her Pilgrim's Soul has audio commentary by Wes Craven, Alan Brennert, and James Crocker. And finally, I, as in the letter I, of Newton, has audio commentary by Alan Brennert. And then disc 4, The Little People of Killaney Woods has audio commentary by J.D. Feigelson, James Crocker, and Alan Brennert. Oh, and The Star, a little earlier, the third episode on the disc, has audio commentary by Alan Brennert. Little People of Killaney Woods is the 5th episode on the disc there. And then moving on to disc 5, we have Quarantine with audio commentary by Philip Daguerre, Grandma with audio commentary by Bradford May and Philip Daguerre, and a second audio commentary by Harlan Ellison. And finally, Dead Run has audio commentary by Alan Brennert and Greg Bear. And then disc 6, which is the final disc of season 1, we have one commentary on A Day in Beaumont by Philip Daguerre. And then season 2 is 3 discs and season 3 is 4 discs. So season 2, disc 1, we have Night Song, audio commentary by Bradford May and Philip Daguerre. Disc 2, we have... Oh, and also, The Once and Future King, the first episode on disc 1, has audio commentary by Philip Daguerre. Sorry, it's easy to miss them sometimes because they also list the guest stars in a lot of the episodes, and sometimes I miss that it says audio commentary as well. Let's see, disc 2 of season 2, The Road Less Traveled, has audio commentary by Wes Craven and Philip Daguerre, as well as deleted scenes. Wow, that's the first non-audio commentary extra we've seen so far. And then The Card has audio commentary by Bradford May, Philip Daguerre, and Michael Cassutt. And then disc 3 of season 2, the episode Time and Teresa Golowitz has audio commentary by Alan Brennert, as well as some deleted scenes. And that's it for season 2. And then finally, season 3, disc 1 has nothing, disc 2 has nothing, disc 3 has nothing, and disc 4 has nothing. Okay, well that was easy. Wow, a shit ton of audio commentaries by Wes Craven. I honestly was not expecting that. I did not know that Wes Craven and Harlan Ellison were so heavily involved with this version of the Twilight Zone. That's freaking awesome. I'm definitely going to be checking out all those commentaries. And there you go. So quite a lot of, well, audio commentaries on this for sure. Pretty awesome. I'm sure that'll be pretty interesting to listen to. A lot of big names from the movie and TV industry in there. Pretty cool stuff. Alrighty, so let's give you one last look at them here. So here, of course, is the original series on Blu-ray and the 80s series on DVD. Sadly, no Blu-ray release of this one. But hey, I'm just glad to have both of them complete. That's a heck of a lot of visits to the Twilight Zone there. So that'll keep me busy for a while. And there you go. So I'm sure you'll agree, pretty snazzy and comprehensive sets of both of those wonderful, wonderful shows. I don't think there's a version of the Twilight Zone that isn't excellent. Like they just seem to have maintained Rod Serling's original mandate that the quality of the writing has to be very high throughout all of the various iterations, and it's great to see that it still remains the de facto standard of quality for intelligent science fiction / horror television. And yeah, and here's hoping that continues through any future iterations as well. Alrighty, well that is it from me to you for now. Hope you enjoyed. As always, if you'd like to get either of the sets that I talked about in this video for your own collection, I will of course include Amazon links in the description down below. Big thanks to those of you who use my links, because it does help to support the show. I get a little kickback when you buy something through one of my links. It doesn't cost you any more. It just gives you a way to support the show while you do your shopping on Amazon. So thank you very much for those of you who do that. Alrighty, well, thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day. And I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.